This landscape behind me dates back 280 million years, back to the Ice Age. And today, I'm going birdwatching here to see what lives here nowadays, whilst also telling you about the incredible history of the place and the creatures that used to roam this land.
As the dinosaurs disappeared and the megafauna followed, the giants that once ruled this land were replaced. But something still hunts here, a smaller, quieter predator, one that took to the skies. So join me as I search for the Brown Falcon, and we'll explore two of the most unique Ice Age landscapes in Australia. Subscribe for birdwatching adventures, and let's explore a land created 280 million years ago.
A massive glacier once covered this area, stretching across what is now called South Australia. During this time, Australia was part of Gondwana, and it was positioned much closer to the South Pole.
Meaning the ground that I'm standing on right now was once shaped by moving ice. As the climate warmed and the ice began to melt, icebergs drifted across the water, dropping clay, sand, pebbles, and boulders, slowly building the layers that we can see here today.
There's actually evidence of dinosaurs being found in nearby regions, so it's highly likely that smaller dinosaurs were found right here by the coast.
And while those dinosaurs are long gone, their descendants are still here. So let's see what bird life we can find today. As I entered the conservation park, I could already hear the birds singing, and it wasn't long until I found my first species. This here is a singing honeyeater, a species that's perfectly adapted to coastal and arid environments like the one we're exploring today. Unlike dense forest birds, singing honeyeaters thrive in exposed areas, perching out in the open and constantly moving between branches. So it wasn't long until it moved on. So I kept walking, looking for the brown falcon and any other species. The vegetation here is typical of coastal scrub, a perfect home for small birds like honeyeaters. But only 50,000 years ago, this same landscape was home to something completely different. Megafauna ruled this land. Where these scrubs sit now, there was giant kangaroos, giant wombats, and giant emus. The terrain may look familiar, but the scale of life here was entirely different. But these creatures weren't alone. There were giant predators roaming these plains. There was the marsupial lion, a powerful ambush hunter with bone-crushing jaws, likely stalking prey through this very scrub. And giant goannas, massive lizards up to 5 to 7 meters long. But around 50,000 years ago, these megafauna disappeared, and the giants that once ruled this land were gone. Today, the main predator that roams these plains is something much, much smaller, the brown falcon. And so I had the mission today to track one down. But there were two other things on my agenda, two iconic formations that hold the story of this entire place. As I made my way up to the first checkpoint, an Australian magpie cut across the landscape. But after an insect flew past, it didn't stay for long. So I continued walking up, and it wasn't long until I got to the first dramatic landscape. This is the amphitheatre, one of the most striking geological features in this park. It's a broad, curved rock formation that looks almost like a stadium carved into the hillside. Its shape isn't random. It's the result of millions of years of erosion acting on layers of sediment left behind after the Permian Ice Age. And right next to this lookout, we have our next geological feature, the Sugarloaf. The Sugarloaf might look like a frozen piece of ancient geology, and in many ways it is. But what you're actually seeing is a combination of two very different timescales. The rock itself was formed hundreds of millions of years ago, when glaciers melted and deposited layers of sediment. But the shape you see today is much younger. Over the last few thousand years, the sea level stabilised and erosion took over. The landscape was carved into its current form. So whilst the Sugarloaf is built from ancient material, this version you're looking at now is surprisingly recent, in the grand scheme of things, of course. After this, I headed off, continuing my mission, now having seen two of the major formations inside of this park. By the way, if you're enjoying this video so far, it would mean a lot to me if you subscribe. I have lots of ideas for videos to make in the future.
I haven't seen many birds yet. I'm trying. It's just very quiet.
Though it wasn't a bird, I was excited to see this next creature. This here is a blue-banded bee, who seemed to be playing with the spider. Unlike honeybees, bees are solitary and don't live in large hives. Instead, they nest in small burrows in soil or clay banks or soft rock, making this landscape ideal for them. I said goodbye to the bee and to the spider and headed off. I only had an hour or so left until the sun would set, and I still hadn't spotted the scavengers of the sky. But little did I know, my luck around the corner was about to change.
There's a kestrel. It's perched right ahead, perfect angle. That's amazing.
This here is a Nankeen kestrel. It wasn't the species I was after, but it was a sign that I was in the right area.
And he's off. He was only there for like 20 seconds. Still, I got the footage. It's amazing. The second it flew away, all of the swallows immediately started showing up. I don't know if it was a coincidence in timing, or if they don't fly when the kestrels are watching.
I watched the swallows for a bit, hoping that it may attract a brown falcon. But there was no luck. So I kept walking up the hill, hoping that this new landscape may bring a different list of species.
So this seems to be the spot for the New Holland honeyeaters. It's like 4 or 5 here flying around very quickly. They do not seem happy with me.
The New Holland honeyeaters were very jumpy, quickly flying from one bush to the next. They are prey for larger birds such as falcons, sparrowhawks, and hobbies, so maybe their agitation was a sign.
The sun is setting right behind me there. Time is running out. I'll keep looking. Nothing yet. It's just incredible to think about how much this landscape has changed from glaciers to this scrubland. All right, this habitat is more almost like a creek. I'm hoping maybe this is the spot. Fingers crossed. The sun is setting. I am running out of time. There's a full creek down there. I don't know if I see any water, but that could be a good sign. I think I'm gonna turn around. I think I am actually going to head to the beach. I'm not having any luck. I don't know whether to look, by the coast here, in the foresty area, wide open spaces. I don't know what the right strategy is.
As I walked the boardwalk along the cliff, I saw a large flock of rock doves, also known as feral pigeons. They were nesting here, and whilst pigeons aren't a brown falcon's main target, they're still on the menu, which means there's always a chance one could be nearby. The sun was steadily setting, so I headed off to the beach. The reason I wanted to see a brown falcon today was because over millions of years, this land has always had something hunting. First it was dinosaurs, then it was giant megafauna predators, and now that role is carried by something much smaller. This place doesn't have many apex predators left. But the longer you look, the more you realize it's not the only one.
I see something over there. The sun is setting. It's not the bird I had in mind, but it might still count. The sun's about to set.
I ran up to the bird, hoping to beat the sunset, but not scare it off.
It's not the species I was after, but you know what? I'm gonna count it. Just in time as well.
I'd spent the evening looking for a falcon, and though this may not be the brown scavenging bird that I was looking for, it's incredible to think that 280 million years ago, there weren't any birds here at all. So maybe finding anything is kind of incredible. I went and sat down to watch the sunset, and of course film some more footage of this bird. As I sat and watched, it was hard not to think about that one day this landscape will change again, just like it always has. This terrain has gone from a frozen ice age wasteland to glacial lakes to a world of megafauna. And now it's a home to pollinators and much, much smaller hunters. Everything that once dominated this place is gone. It's been replaced, it's been reshaped or forgotten. It's amazing that we're able to piece together what life once lived here. And it's a mystery on what life will look like going forward. I didn't find what I was looking for that night, but aren't I lucky to have something out here worth searching for? Thanks for watching.